Dear viewer, I hope you're doing better than yesterday. I asked some strangers outside some of their unpopular opinions. Some of these might piss you off or you might agree with. Well, let's find out. Amy, 34-year-old, said, majority of Gen Z students studying psychology would be horrible therapists. Now what I think Amy meant by this is because a lot of Gen Zers deal with a lot of mental issues and things like that, taking those same people and turning them into therapists wouldn't go that well. I kind of agree and I kind of disagree because not all Gen Zers are like that. Next person, Alex, 26-year-old, said, if you're so mad at billionaires being rich, then stop buying their products. I absolutely agree with this. If you hate the fact that Apple keeps making the same phone and they're rich and this, that, and the third, then just don't buy their phone. This next person wanted to be anonymous, but I like what they said. I judge everyone based off the music they listen to. If all you listen to is rap and you choose not to branch out and be diverse, I can't be friends with you. You have no taste, you're boring, and you have low IQ. I kind of agree with this. If all you listen to is only one genre, then that kind of says a lot about a person. And there's just so many different music out there, so you're kind of missing out. Next person, Janet, 42-year-old, said, most people don't actually want to heal. They just want a label to excuse their behavior. Ooh, this one might get to some people. I don't know how I feel about this one because a lot of people nowadays say they have a certain type of issue only because it has become a trend. And then there's people out there that generally just like the label and don't want to deal with their problems. So I kind of agree there. But then there's people that's generally dealing with a lot of stuff. So what do you think? Next person. Cindy, 30-year-old, said, going to therapy doesn't automatically make you self-aware. A lot of people use it to avoid accountability. I would say this, I don't completely agree with this one. Even though a lot of people go to therapy again for the trend part, I think there's a lot of people going to therapy just so they can have an opportunity to deal with the things they're going through, have an opportunity to understand themselves, and in a way that is them taking accountability. So I would say I kind of disagree with this one, Cindy. Next one. Jazz, 23-year-old, said, people swear they want deep conversations, but if it's not funny, dramatic, or aesthetic, they lose interest. I kind of agree with this one. Nowadays, it's really hard to have a deep conversation and a real authentic conversation. Now, all people are looking for is just the tea. So I kind of agree with this one. All right, next. Joshua, 24-year-old, said, being offended has become a personality trait. Oh my God. Yes, I completely agree with this. People are so sensitive nowadays that every little thing offends them. And it's very exhausting talking to people like that. So I definitely agree with it. Next, Noah, 20-year-old, said, if you're broke and still flexing online, your priorities are cooked. I agree with this one as well. There's a lot of people out here buying $60,000, $100,000 cars, and they can't even buy a bag of chips. So I definitely agree. You flexing that you have certain cars or you're in this apartment that you can afford this, that, and the third, your priorities are not straight, buddy. All right, next one. Charlotte, 21-year-old, said, if everyone you date is toxic, the problem might be you. This one I just found funny. Yeah, I mean, if everyone you date is just toxic and a cheater or this, that, and the third, then maybe you just have bad taste at that point. I don't know. What do you think? All right, next one. Emma, 27-year-old, said, if you can't handle being alone, you shouldn't be dating. This is a big one because a lot of people are not comfortable being by themselves and spending time with themselves and being alone. So then they just go straight to a relationship because they can't deal with not being with a person. But then here's the problem. Let's say your partner gets busy. What are you going to do then? Are you going to have a mental breakdown? So yeah, I kind of agree with this. Some people just needs to deal with this issue before getting into a relationship. All right, next one. Ava, 19-year-old, said, people say they want honesty but can't handle it. I mean, this has been a thing since the beginning of time, so this is nothing new. All right, next one. Michael, 32-year-old, said, being busy doesn't mean you're productive. I agree here. You could do a million things in a day and still be unproductive, because it could just be a bunch of side quests or a bunch of irrelevant stuff that you don't need to do. So I agree with this. Just because you're busy, it doesn't mean you're being productive. Next one. Charles, 62-year-old, said, I kind of like this one. Everyone hates corruption until they get a piece of the corrupt pie. I'm just gonna leave that one there. I mean, Charles has dropped some bars there. I ain't gonna lie. All right, next one. Adira, 23-year-old, said, most people's personality comes from TikTok. Y'all are boring as fuck. I agree with this. Nowadays, talking to certain people, especially from my generation in the Gen Z world, it just sounds like you're talking to someone that has the vocabulary of a TikTok comment section. So it's very annoying talking to those people. All right, next one. A couple said this together. Being emotionally unavailable is not mysterious. It's a red flag. This one made me laugh too, because, yeah, I mean, just being emotionally unavailable and trying to be quote unquote nonchalant doesn't mean you're mysterious, bro. You just might be a problem and no one wants to deal with that. All right, next one. Shannon, 55-year-old, said, most relationships today are shallow and based on convenience, not love. I definitely agree with this one. I mean, nowadays, relationships just feel so transactional and like a business. I do this and you have to do this back. And the love part is missing, I'm not going to lie. All right, on to our last two. Andrew, 28-year-old, said, most dating advice online is written by bitter people projecting their trauma. I kind of disagree with this one, because there's a lot of people online giving genuine good advice and speaking from their own personal experience trying to help others. So you just gotta find the right people for real. All right, and our last person, Leo, 24-year-old, said, if you shut down every time there's conflict, you're not emotionally intelligent. I'm right in the middle with this one, because yes, that could be true, but at the same time, a person could just not be very well with dealing with stress or certain overwhelming situations. So it's just something they got to work on, just like everybody else. But what do you think about any of these unpopular opinions from these people? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know what you think down in the comment sections, and give me some of your own unpopular opinions so I can read them. This video is a bit late, and I'm sorry about that. I just want to say Happy New Year's to everyone, and I hope this year is your year. Have a great goddamn day, dream big, and drink lots of water. Sincerely,